Okay, so today we're taking a look at a Cuban Montecristo number 2. I will be dissecting this cigar, usually not the kind of thing I do with a cigar of this value, or certainly not of this quality. But this is coming from a box I purchased from cigarterminal.com. Very, very good quality service that I've had so far, but the humidity in my humidor has been a bit high, and there's a big gash like the one that you see here that was created presumably because of the humidity level. So I decided that instead of smoking it, which would probably have a lot of smoke coming out through there, let's just dissect it and see what it looks like, and also validate the quality of the cigars coming from cigarterminal.com. Okay, starting off with the cap here, my knife unfortunately was not exactly as sharp as I thought, so I've had a bit of trouble going through the rather soft nature of the tip here, but overall worked out okay. For the band, same thing. They use a self-adhesive band, but it was quite adhesive, so I actually needed a bit of help there from my knife to open it up. And I noticed underneath the band there was a small hole, not a hole, but really more of a puncture in the wrapper. So overall, still not much of an issue. So let's start by unraveling the wrapper and see what we have inside. Okay, wrapper sheet is actually quite nice. Not too thin, not too thick, just perfect. It's almost like a leathery feel to it. I'm sure if I pull hard enough, I'll tear it. Yeah, so I'll tear it here. But overall, it's almost like a soft, buttery, leathery feel. The smell is very nice. Yeah, definitely you can see this is high grade tobacco leaf here. So that's for the wrapper. We see the small hole here that was under the band. But I've seen some fake Montecristo number 2s before. This clearly is a big notch above that. Definitely some real good quality stuff here just by the wrapper. So next is the binder, of course. So the binder leaves are similar in nature to the wrapper. I mean, usually they're exactly the same size, or there could be actually two leaves depending on the size of your cigar. So in this case here, Montecristo number 2, it's a fairly large cigar, so they needed two leaves, or 1.5 leaf if you look at the size of the leaves here. So one very large one that's almost the same size as the wrapper leaf, not exactly cut the same way. It doesn't have to look as good because it really is there only to support the filler. Again, a very nice smell. You really do get the impression this is nice aged tobacco. It's humid. It's not dry. It doesn't tear apart easily, and that's a really good sign of a good quality cigar. Okay, now we get to the filler, which is really where the stuff gets interesting. This is where most of the fake Cuban cigars will absolutely pale in comparison to a cigar like this one. Now I say fake Cuban cigar and not fake, other kind of cigar, because really the Cubans are the ones that are copied the most, in large part because of their pricing point. A cigar like this one will range anywhere from $20, $25 a piece, and in some countries like Canada, it could range all the way up to $40, $45, perhaps even more. So that naturally will become subject to a lot of copying, and that's why most of the Cubans are the ones that are fake. Now we may find fakes in other brands as well, premium high-end cigars coming from other countries like Davidoff or Padron. They could also be subject to fakes, but most of them are really Cuban. So this is a long filler cigar. So those that are not familiar with the terms, long filler means that full leaves of tobacco are used to compose the filler, as opposed to short filler, which would be much shorter versions, or even perhaps some chunks or chopped tobacco leaves. that are not whole in themselves. So from a construction standpoint, it requires a lot more skill to do long filler because most of the short filler could be done by machine, whereas this is done by hand. Now it's quite impressive to see all these leaves because when you look at the quantity of tobacco that's in one cigar, it's quite impressive. So all of these leaves are bunched together in a method that's called entubado. And I'll show what I mean exactly by that. Is that you take all of these leaves and they are bunched one by one, and then they are packed together, but none of the leaves are actually wrapping the other leaves. The wrapper or the binder, sorry, is really the leaf that's designed to do that. All the others are sort of crumpled together one by one and then made into a roll. So looking at this filler here specifically, you can really see that this is a high-end cigar. No doubt it's not a fake, absolutely authentic Montecristo number 2. All long filler leaves, and this is where the fakes really are horrendous sometimes. You'll find some fakes that have some uh, floor scrapings, plastic, branches, all sorts of crap essentially that they can find anywhere and mix it all up to put inside a cigar, and then they'll make it look good with a nice little wrapper and a copied band. So when I said entubado earlier, what I meant was how the cigar is constructed. So what they do is that they take each leaf individually, they bunch them together, but they don't wrap any leaves around the other. So they're really bunched together. And this is where the roller has to be a real master because this is where the blend comes into play. There's different types of tobacco, different types of leaves, and each one has its own properties. And this is where the blend makes a big difference in how you're going to taste your cigar. Because as you go along and smoke your cigar, the combination of the different leaves will provide you with different tastes, and that's why you'll have a lot of different transitions in taste in the high-end, at least handmade cigars, which you wouldn't see in the machine-made cigars because the blend is fairly standard all across the cigar. So this was a Montecristo number 2 dissection purchased at cigarterminal.com. I could not recommend them enough. They are great, offer great service, and good quality product. All right, take care, everybody. See you soon.